all these girls. So soon as he go to sleep, which he got to go, they just waiting on him. Yeah, you big bad joker. Then they be knocking all the girls over. Then the girl monkeys. Then after it's all over, they just say, I ain't did nothing. I don't know nothing. You know, you the baddest. You the man. Right? That's animal stuff, man. Human beings have charity. They have kindness. They have other things. And other societies had things that when you get older, you gain more respect, you know, in the East, the Orient. They used to even carry the ashes of their ancestors around, you know, because if you live so much time, you had to have some sense. And they went to them for advice because you've seen floods before. What do we usually do? Right? They don't do that stuff or the crazy house or the old folks home or just sit there and watch TV. And they got a commercial they used to have, Sakina used to like it. I've fallen and I can't get up. You know? That right, but it's true. When you get real sick sometime and you actually can't get up, you know what I mean? You see what those people are talking about. And for a young person, it's funny. They used to, I've fallen and I can't get up. I said, you wait a while, you'll see what's going on. You know, but anyway, let me try to speed to applied strategy. Unpredictable, applied strategy. Unpredictable, yet you have to predict you're making a plan, right? The forces of history, how they interact, how they distort nature, you know what I mean? How all of these stuff come together. You got to make a decision about where you're going, and all this stuff is spinning around, right? And you got to figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do with all of that. That's what all of what we did in the past, it came out. We're reading from stuff that's old, but the pattern don't leave. This is 2007. Strategic management under conditions of repression. That's 2008. That's back, but we've been in the management and stuff all since we've been writing this stuff, and we were in it before. But the principles are the same. Applied strategy. Unpredictable, yet you have to predict your behavior, you know, focus. We have to have some focused behavior. So the focused behavior we'd have to have in this time is easy. Well, we'll fundraise, we'll go out, and we'll attract. And guess what? We got it good. Nobody wants the job we got. Go find, you think I'm lying? Go find somebody who want to do what we're talking about. I don't even hear them talking about it. Nobody wants the greatest job in the world, right? With the most blessings. They don't want that job. It don't look good to them. It's too much of a challenge, but this is what we have to have: applied strategy to predict, yet in an environment that's unpredictable, that have all the forces interacting with each other, distorting, you know what I mean, and altering the environmental circumstances, right? And what we live in. And we got to predict. We got to predict in that. And we are predicting. And we'll get into that in a minute. Human and non-human environmental interactions produce unpredictable reality, social, political, and economic. Yeah, we just talked about that. Unforeseeable forces. Things will come up, so what are we going to deal with these unforeseeable forces? Okay, how have we done so far? You have to have a self-analysis. and if you can get an analysis from others, but we depend on our own better than others. I would say we haven't done too bad with what we've been dealing with. Can you imagine surviving with the whole United States government, Zionists, Saudis, anybody you can name? Isna, Ikna, all of them is on that side. It doesn't make sense. They're all on that side. And you're over there. Hey, that's not bad. Just to stand up to that is good. It might get you in heaven if you stand up against all of that. But suppose you pull stuff off. Suppose you deal with your enemy and discombobulate them, throw them off and all that. You know, see, here's the thing is, people like to be too scientific. And they do, like they have a thing in communism, they said, no investigation, no right to speak. If you don't which makes sense. If you don't investigate stuff, you don't have no right to present your idea before the board or before the party, which makes sense. No investigation, no right to speak. There's a saying that they have. So what they're saying is, you don't investigate. I'm not saying that we do that, but we do some of it. We do what we study the whole world, and what makes sense is that we have come up with something that we rely on what Allah give us. You know, psychological discombobulation, all that coon stuff, that's what we do. And we study them according to what they say, according to what everybody say. We actually do analysis. It don't sound like it, you know, like we talking, yeah, we gonna discombobulate, we made a fool out of balls, da, 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 da. It don't sound like nothing, but when you study it, it means that we have followed literally every principle for success in our time, and in our environment, we're more successful than everybody else. We're here, that's success. It don't make no difference. Well, boss man let you do that, but it's fine. If boss man let us do anything, that means we done waved at boss man at just the time when he needs somebody to wave at him. Because the Zionists don't play that we like you and you good nigga stuff. That ain't no. That's for boss man. This boss man here. You got two satanic forces. One is the Zionists. They're controlling America. And they have been controlling America. The other is internal boss man. He's easy because we've been with him all the time. And we know him very well. And we can fool him anytime we want. Or we can calm him down. I remember Abdul Malik was saying, they was taking us to jail in Oakland for not having ID. We're going to go run. Just playing around. So he watched how I dealt with the police. Michael, me boy, what do you think about the IRA? And he didn't. First of all, Abdul Malik was asking, why did you know he was Irish? I said, hell, his name is Michael, and, you know, anything else? So he's probably Catholic, Irish, and so I can deal with him from that history. Michael, me boy, and it sounds like his grandfather talking to him. And so, you know what Abdul Malik said? He said, you can do what you want with these people, huh? You know, that was then. That was still in the 80s. Might have been the early 90s. I think it was the end of yes, it was. I would say the end of the 80s. The point is this. We are where we are because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us the ability to appreciate what we have and use it. Use what Allah gave us. Yeah, to use what Allah give you and with confidence. And evidently it's working. Okay, I'll speed up. We'll go by psychological guerrilla warfare. Strategic proficiency. Strategic proficiency is the ability to act on a grand. When you talk about strategic, this strategic, that usually deals with great armies, great industries, and great white folks. That's the talk they have. When you see Negroes, it's laughing and all that stuff, right? And empire, and niggas getting a lot of money, but it's fitna and foolishness. They don't show niggas, the black people, as super managers and organizers. And they used to have a program on called The Hawk, and it stayed on real short time. And Abdul Malik was talking, he said that it's too strong of a black figure. You know, what was that in the 80s? It had to be in the 80s. It was probably in the 80s, something like that. He was in D.C., yeah. Well, they saw it everywhere, I'm telling you. They don't show black as strategic managers, as organizers, and they don't show black people with the ability to resist anything. He can't resist girls. He can't resist anger. And if you mistreat him, he's going to be mad, right? When they have their heroes, they big heroes, they have the ability to control their anger and hatred, which they don't. Eventually it come out of them. But they don't give those type of characteristics to and they shouldn't. They're going to oppress us. They shouldn't show the people what they can do to beat the system. I believe that the common thing is the system is showing what it is. It is headed down so fast you can't get in front of it and stop it. What would it take to stop the slide in housing? They can't do it. It would mean more employment, right? It would mean a total revival. They can't do that because their money is becoming worthless and they gave all of this away. They got China, they got this, that, and other, and they don't have enough time and they don't have the heart to do it. Because the Congress and everything this is not the 30s when they had Roosevelt. It's rare that someone from amongst that class, which Roosevelt was from the rich class, to pull off that WPA and alphabet soup of programs. Yeah, the New Deal. It just made sense. We got to give people a New Deal. Well, he was still a human being. They don't make people like that anymore. They ain't even thinking about it. They got more money, the rich got more money now than they did then. Can you imagine it during the Depression, what they just had last year or this year? Bezos and them bums made so much money. And now I watch the people, how they get stuff. All them big stores is closing. Did you see the mail trucks coming by? It's 4 or 5 a day. It used to be 1. And I watch my house, they don't shop anymore. They go, and it comes in the mail. I said, how can you want something every day? I don't say that to them because it's none of my business. How could you need something new twice a day, every day? You know, every day, all the time. How could you, you know, just look in the little thing and say, I want one of those, send it here. And the stuff, you can't open nothing up without it falling out on you. I mean, big time. Okay, strategic proficiency. Strategy, it equals goal-directed decisions that you take into consideration your capabilities, your resources, matched with opportunities. You got to match this stuff about strategy. Hey, man, it's got to be serious. It ain't no joke. And anyway, we talked about muscle memory.